Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is Tuesday night, and it is time for another NLG show. Hopefully, you have all had a great weekend and are ready for another hot night where we have another great guest and alumni, one of our dear friends and former co-host here. Brother Juan is in the house. Juan Gallardo. It's been way too long. He's cameraless tonight, but that's okay. We got his little picture there. Looks just like him too. So don't you know? How you doing, Juan? It's good to see you, brother.
Doing great. Great to be back. Appreciate it. It has been too long. I've been working from home that whole time, so it's the picture isn't all that. I look like Grizzly Adams now, but yeah, I'm cameraless on the new work setup because I don't want to be on camera when I'm working either. And but yeah, no, it's great to be back. And I think cameraless is just better. I have a face for radio, so we'll go cameraless.
HD radio, right?
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well,
we got filters for that now, sir. We can make you next level.
That's what I understand. I'm a little behind the times on it, but yeah, I guess I can understand it, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Oh wow, chat is filling up quick. Now we got to be careful because we don't want the company to be in our chat listening to us talk about the leak because we don't want to get our channel shut down. So I've heard, pray tell, that the stars of rock have been very, very active in taking out the
even if you just say it, as long as you're not showing anything, or
the autos of the $6,000. No, apparently somebody just talked about it with their own face on the screen and just and got a copyright strike from Rockstar. I'm like, Jesus Christ. They are taking this serious.
That company is a group of lawyers that makes games.
More or less. Unbelievable. But we are I'll be honest with you. I haven't cared about Grand Theft Auto since 4. So, how much does this really affect? First of all, I didn't watch anything. So I didn't see anything. I wasn't even around when the leak happened. I was teaching Sunday school when all this rolled out on a Sunday early afternoon. And I'm like, really? And I didn't see a thing of it. Any of you guys actually watch the GTA 6 footage?
I didn't tune in really. I saw a brief little bit from a diner or whatever, but I didn't really tune into it. I like the games. I go way back to the first ones, and the first two, of course, are very different and classic in their own different way. I never really got into 3. So Vice City, I picked it back up, and I loved Vice City. I played the mess out of Andreas on the original Xbox, I think. 4 I played a whole lot of, and 4 had some really good story DLC, which is where I think 5 kind of fell apart. I liked 5, and the campaign was okay, but it got wrapped up in online, and then never really did the same quality of the first single player DLC.
Yeah, I think 5 was mediocre. Like Red Dead Redemption 3, 2. So it's like the same thing. It's the story didn't. It's either spread too thin or it's repetitive, and like GTA 4 lost of the Damned or whatever that DLC was. Is so good.
That was good.
That was really good. That's fantastic. Loved that one.
And
I kind of liked that there was a character in 5 that was basically someone playing online. Nice. That's Dreamcast?
That is Dreamcast, my friend. Yes. Where you actually had to where you use the stick and left and right was rotate. It was rotate your guy. And the right trigger was walk. It was crazy.
That's pretty far
Those
out.
were the days.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I played the first two on PC. But
It-
yeah, no, enjoyable games. I like I said,
Yes.
they're
Those are your
fine.
kids. Yeah.
There's the whole discussion about people saying silly things about a game that's obviously not finished. Like
Yeah,
the
but-
tweet that's making the rounds is the one about, well, the first thing to do is get the visual. And every game dev I
Yeah.
follow is like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of them
Yeah,
are sharing early work stuff from like Control and such, so it's all blocked out. Like Naughty Dog shared some things like the Jeep chase scene, where it's just blocks.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes you think of early
I think
Steve stuff.
Rare showed that. Yeah, CFTs also.
Yeah.
I did look at some of that stuff, and not really clicking on anything, but just there through Twitter, just you can see that, and I kind of like what I saw. So
Well, there you go.
I don't think the game's that far off than what people think. I mean, I don't think we know for sure where they're at, but they have to have been working on it for all these years. I could see them announcing it next year and then maybe releasing in 24. I just wouldn't be surprised. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out and announce it in the Game Awards show, and official announcement. But
I said years ago that we are too close to the process. I'd be happy if devs pull back a bit from social media, just put out announcements and things, or like distance themselves some from us, the gamers, because it's not better that we're on top of every. Like, well, where's it at this week? How's it going? Like, why don't we see it yet? Going all the way back to years ago with Resolution Gate, when a game's coming, and before we know anything about it, the first we know is which versions run 1080p. It's bullshit. It's all crap.
Yeah.
Take it back to the Nintendo Power days. Take it back to I don't know it until I'm getting the maps, on my Nintendo Power, and I've seen the levels laid out. I don't want to know shit about it. I want to buy games off of box art.
I don't mind where devs can, back in the day, they were able to gradually release updates of the game, through the magazines, and you go, rush to go read it and get the latest. Some studios, I know Undead Labs was pretty good about it, where they would have they would have live shows and do little things. They would talk about different parts of the game before they released it. So they kind of that's
Right.
something they did. Not every studio is going to do it, but it does suck for Rockstar that the way all this stuff came out, and they were not ready, obviously, to share any of that. So, but what we saw, it did look real. But they should not be ashamed of what was shown, that, just because it wasn't finished, because there was a lot of people that said they liked what they saw, and they, understand that it's not a finished product. But of course, you always have people who like to cook the chicken with NyQuil.
NyQuil.
And talk smack and this and that. So
NyQuil
I am a big GTA fan. I tried the second one, but I tried it after I played the third.
Oh yeah.
And so I couldn't get into it, and I didn't really give it a chance. So, but I loved them all, 3 and Vice City. I think my favorite was San Andreas, and I played that on PS2. And a big reason why I was on PlayStation, because they had the GTA, exclusive, and it wasn't on Xbox right away until later. And
thanks to my boy Peter Moore.
Yeah. And when I was playing Andreas on PS2, that, you remember, had the memory slots. Well, my ex's son lost it, and I was almost at the end. So I didn't finish Andreas for a long time until they came out on a Xbox later on. So I did like 4, and I really did like 5. I got to meet the actor that played Trevor, one of the Comic-Cons over here. Real cool guy. So he made that game for me as far as the single player. But definitely was disappointed that they didn't have DLC for the single player story mode like 4 did. And, because they were more focused on online. But I had a lot of fun online with my brothers. I mean, that was our sandbox playground. We all got together. And we shall see when this next one comes out. But it's not surprised how big, when stuff got leaked and it was just everywhere, trending like crazy because it's just one of the biggest franchises out there. Biggest games. It's
that we've been waiting for it for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise in how big it blew up.
I mean, for those who are waiting for it. I mean, it's not. I would probably try it. I don't know. I own RDR2. It didn't stick at all. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Well, and
the same thing, and it's too bad because that game is gorgeous.
Really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Really gorgeous.
Mhm.
I will never get over and it's the silliest thing, but the manual, the catalog. So you go in a general store and they have the old timey ads in the catalogs. I love that detail.
For me, because I'm an IT guy, it's not so much what was leaked out on the internet. That stuff happens all the time, right? That happened with The Last of Us. It happened. I can stay away from that stuff. What is concerning for me is that somebody hacked into Rockstar and didn't just get like the footage, but they have game code, right? And they're in the process of negotiating with Rockstar, the hackers, or else they're gonna sell the GTA 5 and 6 source code that they have. That is a bigger issue to me than just some leaked footage that everybody knows isn't going to be the final anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Here's a surprise, guys. GTA 6 is an open world third-person game. Surprise! Yeah, I'd be more shocked if it went back to being an overhead 2D game. So, it's just that's the part that, because it can happen to anybody. Like, this is also not the first time. Activision's been hit, Rockstar's been hit. I think they've been hit twice. I don't think this is the first time. So Boogeyman said they sold the GTA 5 code for $100,000 worth of Bitcoin the same day. That's where companies lose their worth, is when their proprietary code is now out in the wild. That's not good. And how that happened, I don't think we're ever going to know, because that stuff never gets out into the public, but that's not good. And I've seen this kind of badness, and it can hit anybody. People are smart.
I remember when it hit Naughty Dog on the Last of Us 2, and so they revealed some stuff that they weren't ready to show, and they ended up coming out sooner, revealing it.
Oh, right, because they had to.
And I don't think it's necessary that the code is proprietary, but it's all the anti-cheat stuff and this and that. So
On
the cheating software is ready before the software gets released. And
right.
That's why we should not have forced crossplay with PC.
Yeah, but even at that, I mean, people were buying modded consoles for GTA Online, 5 Online. I mean, so there's always a way.
Yeah, apparently somebody got scammed on the sales, the code.
Oh,
Wasn't really
yeah,
the
so
code that
I saw that
Jacobson
too.
said.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is rough. Now, Rockstar has said that they are not. This does not affect the game in any way. Which again, it's no surprise that the game is going to be another GTA. I mean, I don't. Why would this? The speculation was this was going to delay the game for a lot. Why?
Yeah.
Nobody. What's the delay? It's everybody knows what it's going to be. Okay, so it might be back in Vice City. That's great. Vice City was a good game. So I don't know. Again, that the fact that they showed some early footage, it's typically not as damaging as, like I said, just knowing that you can sell out the source code. That's the part that I think they're more worried about. I mean, anybody think this is going to delay the game? I don't.
No.
No, I don't imagine. I mean, they were going to do it on their own timeline anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know when it's going to come out, so there is no window or date, anything to lay from. So,
I mean, if their whole, infrastructure was crypto locked, then perhaps, but
yeah, if it did affect, the development.
yeah.
And I'm not sure that happened. At least that's not anything
I don't think so either. That's
I think this was just a theft, straight up theft. Oh, there you go. Nick's got it right. The only thing that's going to delay GTA 6 is GTA 5 starting to make even dumber stacks of cash.
Yeah,
So-
gamers need to remember. They need to figure it out. Stop buying GTA 5 online and the shark cards,
yeah.
and then they will come out with GTA 6 sooner.
Stop buying GTA 5 overall. I mean, that game still. I've never seen a game with 15 years of legs.
Yeah. Top 20 NPDs.
That's because
sometimes
now people have all those
10.
digital consoles. It's like, oh, my hard copy doesn't work. There you go. Not a copy.
Now you get another right. So it's like a 1-to-1 console to game ratio. So, man, the chat is lighting up. I didn't even get a chance to say hi to everybody. I didn't even get a chance to say hi to you guys. We got right into
a lot of people that
got right into it. I know, we got right into it. This is like the first time we just got right into a topic. That's impressive. Only when Juan's around.
Juan doesn't play around. He's
Juan
like,
doesn't play.
Come on, I don't want to hear about y'all's bullshit for an hour.
I mean, we don't have to ask what games are we playing because Xbox doesn't have any games. So next next up.
I'm drowning. I'm honestly, I'm actually watching games right now.
I'm in the same, and I've got. Oh, but Game Pass is the end of video gaming as we know it, Juan. That's
well, it's my. Pin that. We're gonna pin that.
I mean, Heartspace Shipbreaker just landed on Game Pass, and
Deathloop
And I would have
just
tried that.
landed.
I would have tried that tonight, except that I started Deathloop before the show.
I still have to. I downloaded Deathloop.
I want to try that.
Yeah,
one too.
I'm downloading Deathloop.
Check it out.
I have it downloaded.
Oh, I love
love
Arcane. Love Arcane. I love
do too.
Prey was a big game for me. I love Prey.
Yeah.
Yes, I know you did.
I played it back. It was the game of the year for me when it came out. I played it again when it hit when it got the frame boost on Series X backwards compatibility, and then it was sublime. It was great. I just love that game. And there's a bit of a feel in kind of the immersiveness and the details and the logs and the things. I don't want to get too far into it, but yeah, Deathloop feels like an Arcane game, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's gonna be a good one to play. I knew at some point it was heading to Game Pass. So I was just, as I do, because I'm a cheap bastard, I held off. I just waited for it, and score.
Rewarded.
Yes.
Right. Well, it makes me feel pretty decent about Redfall, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Redfall is
Arcane's
going to be
they're
great.
good.
Yes. No, Redfall is going to be really good.
Although it's both Arcane. Redfall is by Austin, right? Austin
I
Studio.
believe so.
While
Yeah.
Deathloop is Leon.
Correct.
or
This is Leon.
Lev.
Yeah, but they all help each other out over time. I think they have all the same.
But it's
assets,
still, you still have their own
Yeah.
flair.
Absolutely. So,
But
yeah,
it's,
I'll get some time in this week. This is unfortunately not co-op, so you can't play it together. But maybe this might be worth a Thursday or stream or
can you
something
only
like
have
that.
like randos spawning your thing, or
Something like that.
can
I'll
it
look
be
it
like
up.
a designated person,
Hmm.
No.
like a friend?
No. Yeah, I don't believe you can invite friends into it. So just keep trying until you get my you get my room.
I mean, it's possible. Like in Sniper Elite 5, like Nate and I, we've done it. Like we're able to find each other's game. Like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Helps if you both have the DLC that most people probably don't have. So it narrows it down a little bit.
Mm.
Right.
So
So far in Deathloop, I've learned that I'm not good at sneaking in Deathloop.
Okay.
That's what I've learned so far about Deathloop is that I want to be sneaky, but I end up triggering something or irritating somebody, and the whole everything comes running, and I am killing them all with machine gun. And okay, cool, and move on.
And move on.
Yeah.
Got it.
But it's kind of cool.
Um,
It's open like that. You can do it however you like. You can go sneaky. You don't have to. So far it's pretty interesting. I was also messing around with last couple of nights with and I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but it's Fuga or Fuga. I don't know. It's the FUGA Melodies of Steel. Have you seen this?
Hmm.
Pretty recent Game Pass ad.
I've heard of this. It's like a tactical game, right?
Kind of. It's almost like a one of those visual novel kind of games, but basically there's a story of and it's very, very Japanese. You have to be able to get past like all the creatures that, because they're all children, they're like cat people or whatever. But if you get past that, actually, there's the story of this village. There's a war. The villagers are being taken away, and the children flee, and they find in this cave this massive tank, and they use it to fight back and to get their villagers back. But it's a turn-based kind of tactic or strategy thing, because you manipulate the children inside the tank, like who's manning which weapon, and how you feed them in between, and things like that. There's a story-driven thing to it, and turn-based tank combat. It's kind of interesting. It's different. It's very different for Xbox.
Okay. I have not. Yeah, I'm just reading up on it a little bit. I
found myself more like I played it on cloud because I was like, I'm not going to download that, so I'm just going to cloud it. And I was like an hour and plus into it, and the game's like, you want to install? I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Okay. Set in a war-ravaged world where a village destroyed by the fascist Burman Empire. 11 child survivors band together after the attack and board a giant tank known as a Tyrannus. Okay.
It's worth checking out. I mean, you have to be able to stomach some highly Japanese gaming, but yeah, it's not like it's going to be like it's not going to move the needle for anybody. It's not going to burn the world up or nothing. It could possibly be a mobile game, but it's interesting. It's different. I too, Frankie, I see in the chat there. I too am kind of disappointed in Oolong because I was kind of hoping for something a little more Ninja Gaiden than what it
Than
is.
Souls. No, they were at the very beginning touting that as kind of a Souls like a Bloodborne type game. And I wasn't
paying a ton of attention to that, so I was a little bit hoping for something different.
Yeah. I think
it'd have its fans.
Yeah, that's unfortunately it's still the hotness, especially with Elden Ring, kind of hanging out there as likely game of the year fighter.
Yeah, I mean, right now Elden Ring is a big contender, probably lead game for my game of the year, right? Thing is, I played a lot of Elden Ring. Like, I've I don't know, lots and lots of hours, like 5 playthroughs, different endings, all that. So it's gonna be really tough for anything Souls-like to make a dent, to really grab me, because like you could argue that maybe Elden Ring isn't the best Souls-like on that pure level, but it is one of the best open world games I've ever played, and it has that. I won't get too much into it, but yeah, it's going to be really tough for Viper Strike or Frankie. I've got probably, I don't know, 700,000 hours, somewhere in that range for Elden Ring. So yeah, it'd be really, really tough for any kind of Souls-like to grab me right now, just because I played so many hours of that.
Before I got the chat scrolled up. The chat has just been nuts, and we just got so fast into things. I didn't get a chance to say hi to a bunch of people. So Driz, Sean, Frankie, and Niall came in first, and then Lady Ventress, Mega Myke. Who else has been in here? Brother Relic, Brother Nick. Brother Doom is here. Brother Doom. Brother Jorge's in the house. What's up, Brother Doom? Yeah. Spooky is here. He's got a... he's trying to help Sister Trinity with her Streamlabs. Unfortunately, she had... I think she had a computer crash and knocked out her Streamlabs stuff. And so, yeah, I'm hoping she gets that straightened out. And I'd offered to help her if she wants to take another crack at like straight up OBS. I told her I'd try to help her too, because we get her back up and running. Brother Boogie is here.
Gets all that laid out, I mean, she'd be set.
Yeah, it was supposed to. It's supposed to save to the cloud. I had for a little bit,
OBS
but
was harder. Yeah, but when you showed me, I was like, no, this is great. It is for trying to tweak your audio stuff here and there.
Yeah, but, it is harder. It is definitely more difficult to set up, but once you do, it's fairly automatic and very powerful. So, like, I couldn't do this screen that you guys all see here. I couldn't do all this in Streamlabs OBS. So, being able to do all this in OBS has been really nice. And, as long as Skype doesn't give me any real problems, then when you guys come into the Skype call, you pop right into your right spots. It's really easy to manipulate. I could, once I figured out how to do the chat on the left, then it's just changing out the URL every week, just changing out the text of the topics and all that stuff. So it really does, it really is a pretty powerful platform. It's just Streamlabs OBS is easy to manipulate. It's just limited in what you can do. And it's it's great for people that want to do the it's like StreamYard. People love StreamYard for podcasts, but it's limited. It's limited in what you can do. But anyway, who else am I missing here? So Boogie's here. Spooky was here. Was hanging out with Trinity, get her fixed. Brother Dorkside is here. I know
Driz,
Dork doesn't
Sean.
say. I did say hi to Sean. I said hi to Driz. Dan White is here. Brother Dan, how you doing? Sister Ventress is here. So the entire Relic family. I did say hi to now. Brother Qeorge. Brother Qeorge is here. Invader. Gamers United Guild up in his house. Brian F. Akaz RJ. I would know we've seen him here and there. Cousin Born, who just saw pop in here. Joe Jacobson, welcome. I don't think I've seen Joe Jacobson in here before, but so if you are new, thank you.
Marine buddy of mine.
Huh?
He's a Marine buddy of mine.
Oh, absolutely. He hangs. Yeah. Okay, I know who that is now. He's hung out with us in party chats. So, welcome, Joe. And Josh, my Maryland brother, drinking games with Josh. What's up? And Cousin Board. I think I got everyone. Yeah, open source. It took me. Your last name is what caught me. I forgot that was your last name. So now I know who you are, Joe. And thanks for hanging. Thanks for following on into the room. So, all right. I think I got it caught up on everybody in the chat. If I missed you, I'm sorry. You guys have all made made this chat just blow up. So, thanks, Dan. You know what? I honestly, he said, I can't believe there's only 26 people here. It didn't show up because you used a profanity. Sorry. The chat thing that I use for OBS must not like profanity. So he said, I love this shit. I hope it blows up for you guys. Thank you, Dan. But you know what? At the same time, I'll take 26 people here in the chat being you guys. Princess Zelda is here and Axel is here. I knew I passed over a couple people. Princess Zelda and Axel, more Gamers United Guild folks from the Iconic Video Games Podcast. Invader Gaming is from TXR. Of course, Geeks with Cash, which has 2 channels. His Great Geeks with Cash, where I hang out with him on every other Monday night for Retro Roots. And the Geekstorian channel that does all kinds of great videos. And he just put one up yesterday on something I've never heard of. So all folks down in the description below. So please make sure you are checking everybody out. Okay. Peter, Chris, how you guys doing? I saw you yesterday, Peter. We played Forza.
We did.
We did.
Had a good time.
It was a good time.
In Porsches, 1973.
Yes. And our 73 Porsche Carreras. I like that car.
Mine was white body though. I got some stuff stapled onto that one. I don't know if I did that or it came. Maybe somebody gifted that to me. I don't know.
Well, mine was a barn find.
Yeah, I might have more than one.
You might. No. See, that's it, Dan. One cool thing about a smaller crowd is you can actually have a quick discussion with the chat. It reminds me of old school AOL chatters. That's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
And why you guys are over there on the left. So,
But yeah, I've also played like Immortals Phoenix Rising. If you have not checked out this game,
oh
you
yeah,
can check it out through Game Pass or buy it because the game is on sale like all the time. But it's really good. Enjoying it.
I have not played Immortals yet, but I've heard good things about it. Isn't that
Ubisoft.
Oh, is that Ubisoft?
Yeah, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah.
We're allowed to say good things about Ubisoft, right?
Stuff. That's good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can never tell who likes and who doesn't like Ubisoft. So, and I thought it was funny that during their showcase, they called themselves Ubisoft many times. So
Yeah.
the whole Ubi.
Yeah.
Dreadpool, Brother Dread's in the house.
Good.
Oh, somebody's saying congrats on the subs. What don't I know? Hold on, let me take a look. Let's take a look at the Dread pool. Dread has
he got
crossed.
500.
Yeah, Dread's crossed the 500 subscriber mark. Congratulations, he's at 514. Let's go. Let's go. Dread is awesome people. Absolutely awesome people. So you definitely need to check out not only his YouTube channel, but his Anchor FM channel where he does his great Breaking Bread with Dread. Love that stuff. So anyway, so here's Immortals Phoenix Rising. So you're liking it, Peter? What's it like? I mean, what kind of game is it? Because
It's like a Greek mythology adventure kind of thing, and like dungeons, like rifts, where you have to. It's kind of platforming, and time to collect stuff, like a typical Ubisoft game.
okay.
Is it
Chests.
open world like the?
It's open world.
I understand it's kind of their take on Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can you climb mountains?
You can climb mountains. Yes, you can. You have, as you can see, she has wings that you
You can fly anytime.
level up, so then you can fly and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
No, it looks solid. I haven't downloaded, but that's one of those in the recent flood of Game Pass that I haven't gotten to, besides just for a couple minutes to start it. But yeah, it looks decent. And I think it reviewed fairly well. I think if I remember right, it was. You didn't set the world on fire necessarily, but yeah, it looks okay. I know my man Joe has enjoyed it some.
yeah, the thing is, when I saw this video, it doesn't grab me, but once you, it's better playing it than watching this promo.
And
It's probably-
it's probably as accurate to say that it's like Breath of the Wild to say that Bleeding Edge is like Overwatch. It's probably on that
Yeah.
level of accurate.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, guys.
But your weapons don't break down, so
yeah.
it's not Breath
Well,
of the
there's that.
Wild.
And it's definitely got but the colors too are more Breath of the Wild than your typical Assassin's Creed and.
Sure. Yeah, very
Warcraft.
vibrant compared to
Yeah.
Ubisoft outing outside of Rayman, maybe. Certainly like the Division or anything like that, or WoW Point or. Yep. I don't have a thing against Ubisoft really. I haven't really been into a lot of their stuff in recent times. I did enjoy the Division for a while when it came out, and of course I did have my brief and very not super long but very intense love affair with For Honor for a period of time.
Oh, I know you
But for
love
me-
that game.
Oh man, I tell you that until I kind of fell out of the meta on it, it was my beautiful Street Fighter meets Dark Souls thing. It was great. Yeah, it was way better than Souls PvP. Because fights ended. But for me, like, I don't know, the title for them for me will always be Beyond Good and Evil, the original. That's my
That's a good
Ubisoft
one.
game. I could go back and play that anytime. That game is it's all around good.
We got what's up, Charlie Hustle, and we got Nate. Just
Oh,
jumping
yeah,
in.
Charlie. And
Oh, I missed it. Oh
missed it.
shit, we got a mass hole in the chat. How can I miss that mass hole?
I don't know. No. No. Happy upcoming New Year, Masshole. Since I won't see you until next Tuesday, until it's over. So, Lashana Tova, upcoming. So Monday is Jewish New Year. So Scepter's in the house too.
Yeah.
And they are coming in fast and furious into the chat. So now Charlie says Ubisoft is hit or miss, but their hits are good. I'm not.
Yeah,
it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard. It's hard to think of many of their misses. I mean, you could argue a couple of the Assassin's Creed games, but not the series as a whole. You know, you may not everybody likes Just Dance, but it's a heavy, a heavy hitting series for them.
Yeah, it's just, you don't like one, you don't like, like any.
Right. I mean, there's not much that Ubisoft makes. Now, I would love a Rayman, because I heard you guys talking about that while I was typing to work. You know, they need to bring Rayman back and not just put it into Rabbids. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that Ubisoft misses on. You could argue Watch Dogs 3, but Watch Dogs has been a decent series.
Watch Dogs 2 is worse.
You think so?
Yeah, I didn't like 2.
Okay.
3 I love 3.
Yeah, I don't
was even better.
I liked 2. I didn't. All right. You know, Far Cry, the big series for them. The Division has been a huge hit for them. So, okay. So, you know, it was just,
Ghost Recons that were a little
Ghost Recon.
Some decisions they made, but overall, they're not like terrible.
Yeah. And just remember, Charlie, they had great games on the Dreamcast. He knows.
For me, it's like if I have to grab one publisher and it's like you can only play those games, it's probably gonna be Ubisoft because they don't have many misses.
Yeah, that's my top.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, even because remember, Rayman for me started on the Atari Jaguar. Oh.
PS1 for me. It dropped my jaw. I thought it was a gorgeous game. The music too. The original Rayman on PlayStation just floored me.
Well, and I mean, it looked very much like. I mean, to be honest, the Jaguar and the PS1 versions looked really, really close. Obviously, the CD soundtrack on the PS1, you know, was better than the soundtrack on the Jaguar, but they were very close. That first game was so colorful and pretty.
Yep, gorgeous.
Oh, and Scepter said, Rayman Origins was great, and I had I think I have Rayman Legends on the Xbox One, which was fantastic, and right up my alley. So that is a series that needs to come back. So
you'll never guess what else I've been playing recently. A lot of it's taken a fair amount of my time recently.
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler.
Oh, you're back to that game again, huh?
Yeah, I'm giving it one last try. I was all hyped up before when it came out on Switch, and I own it on Switch, and then it didn't really stick with me. I couldn't get it to stick, and kind of disappointed in it. And then it came to Game Pass. I gave it another try. I'm not sure how much longer it's going to be in Game Pass, with the sequel going to be soon. So I thought, well, not soon, but coming. So I thought, well, I'll give it one more day. And I'm further into it than I've made it. And I'm going through like the second tier of quests for each of the 8 people and find those bosses. A little difficulty spike there, but it's cool. But then it's like, okay, do I do that? And then I have to level up a bunch more for the third. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I'm trying to like it. I like the characters. I like the music. The story does absolutely nothing for me because even though their little vignettes aren't bad for themselves, they're just not. They're traveling as a group, but they're not talking to each other or interacting much, really, or acknowledging that they're each. And I get why, because of how you can select the characters in different order and everything. Wouldn't there's not the fixed nature that they can play with. But I don't know, it's just weird. It's just. But I'm trying it. It is. I love the pixel art. I love the music. I really want to love that game. That's been taking up much of my hours recently. I'm about 30 hours in it again.
At least you give it another shot.
Well, I like that type of game. I like turn-based.
Mm-hmm. I used to love turn-based games growing up, but I haven't really got back into them. I used to.
I'm too impatient
tried.
for it. I need to
Yeah.
have immediate response.
Yeah, I was always more the action RPG, even when we hit those kind of games. Like, for me, the Baldur's Gate was like the Dark Alliance, right? The hack and slash, isometric stuff. Like, I tried to play, the Barge Tale trilogy is on Game Pass because of
In Exile.
in Exile, right? And I tried to play the original Bard's Tale, and I remember, I had Bard's Tale on the PC back in the day when it was actually published by EA. I couldn't get back into it. I
It's aged for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have... When I think of good turn-based RPGs, and going back to the Dreamcast, I think of like Skies of Arcadia. Like, those are the kind of those games that I like. But it's still not much. Like Joe is saying, Yakuza Like a Dragon was great, but I haven't played that one yet. So
Yeah, I've got it. I've got the whole Yakuza thing. I'm almost finished with 0, but I keep getting sidetracked. But I like it. I like everything I've played Yakuza.
I'm working on it. I started 0, and it's oddly satisfying and oddly too linear at the same time. It's really weird. No,
What I like
to...
about them is they've actually managed to make wild swings in tone work. Like, it just goes wildly from like the zaniest kind of wacky thing to like deadly mobster serious Yakuza violence, like, and just wildly swinging back and forth, and then there's dancing and there's
right, karaoke,
whatever.
Right.
But it works.
Yes. Yeah, Kiwami 2 is on my list.
A lot of Sea of Thieves since the captaincy update, season 7. It's a silly thing. I know it sounds crazy, especially if you're not someone who's big on Sea of Thieves in the first place. But having your boat with your name makes such a huge difference. Of course, my sloop is the sloop Wambi, of course.
Yes.
And we've been years trying to get that done, and you can do that now. And having the logbook that kind of tracks your voyage progress and all the stupid little trinkets and things you can unlock, it's totally an addiction. I'm like, I made enough money to buy a new trophy, and it's going to go in this spot of my boat, and it goes here, and it gets locked in that position, because if I don't, then my friends will get on the boat and move everything around on me, and that's just not how it works in my world. But no, and it's like I got this piece of artwork, I've got a photo, I've got a trophy, I've got this, and it's like, it's cool because now everybody's boat is just a little bit different. There's no boat that's exactly the same, really, and I'm doing things that I haven't. It's not really a ton of new gameplay. I'm doing the same kind of stuff we've done for the years, but now I'm doing it for the boat, and that makes it all better. And I had gotten away from the game for a bit, but yeah, we've been doing a fair amount of that recently too. The biggest thing that would ever keep me from going back to that full time is that the same problem it always has is its community. But I won't go too deep into that.
Well, I was going back to just checking the channel. Peter and I did play some of that a couple weeks ago, just to see, because I had not played it in like a year.
Just a year? I think it was longer than that, wasn't it?
It might have been longer than that. So what's going on? What just happened? It might have been longer than that, but I enjoyed what I played of it.
The captaincy update also includes a really nifty quality of life thing called the Sovereigns, where now all the outposts where you would turn in loot if you're not doing the Reaper role has a and you have to have a captained boat. There has to be a captain on the boat to take use of their services. But there's a kind of a tower at the end of the second dock, not the main dock, where it has a lift and some harpoons, and you can harpoon loot from the dock, or from the boat to the dock.
Mhm.
It's a much faster way of offloading, especially done in teams, and real game changer. And you don't lose any money or faction or anything for doing it. So it's totally worthwhile. Really big quality of life improvement there.
Yeah, like the other day we got chased. Just quickly, made a stop and sell our stuff, and
Yeah, once you get practice with the harpoon, you get a crew going, little bucket line
oh
kind
yeah,
of thing.
it's like
You can offload quick. It was enough to make the streamers complain, which is awesome.
yeah.
Oh, power! I can't steal from people as easy. I
Oh.
play 24/7, 7 days a week. I'm not winning. I don't get too deep in it, but
They finally have to work for their stuff.
Yeah.
They
It
got
is
they're
still
gonna be-
pressure.
it is still
Nope.
not a Chivo. My buddy Joe says he's right to carry the grog barrel across the whole long dock at Dagger 2. That is still not achievement.
That's okay. I still believe that you should get a Chivo for being stupid enough to carry the chest of woe onto your ship
Yeah, I hear you.
and let it and go. Where's my ship sinking?
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Someone snitched. Oh, did you hear about that?
So,
That was funny. But I will say that is a Sea of Thieves is, you gotta give Xbox and Rare credit for this. They very much could have done the old Microsoft way of, all right, this game didn't hit, let's just dump it and go somewhere else. And
Right.
they didn't. They allowed Rare to keep working on the game. And yes, I totally am with they need to separate out the PC, or at least separate out mouse and keyboard from controller. At least
You
do
can-
that.
Even
you can mostly
PC
get that. We lobbied for it forever. We fought like tooth and nail and bitch. And we did get them to put in a matchmaking preference, and it was weird because they made almost no mention of it. They said, okay, it's in, and they never showed anybody where to do it, the options or anything. They really didn't want people using it because they don't want to all the streamers. And again, that's what that game is all about. You got to remember, as much as I love Sea of Thieves, the whole premise of the game is to make a sandbox for streamers to play in and stream. It's all about the streaming. So they didn't want, the streamers were very antsy about the crossplay opt-out, because how are they going to do their thing and win and be good
Mhm.
content if they don't have console players who at the time were playing on Xbox One? So they're locked at 30 frames. They're playing with they're playing with the controllers. Their load
Yeah.
times are 6 times as long every time they die, so the spawn times are longer. They really had it made, and they didn't want a chance to lose that. So Rare really soft sold. They really undersold the option, and it's not perfect. It is just a preference. So there are various things in the game, and I think ways that you can get around it and have a PC player. And I think it's done, because if there's a way to cheat or lame or somehow be as lame as possible at gaming, PC gamers will find it. But yeah, for the most part, that's pretty good. What gets me to see these is they are sitting on another gold mine with being able to have private servers, and you could very easily have kind of the base level game, kind of like when it came out, and the voyages and a lot of the extra stuff they built in later that's very risk and reward, because it's all about making content. So everything that came later in the later years is very visible to the world, very inviting people to know you're stacking loot on a boat. Come get me, that kind of thing. It's very geared towards easy content creation. All that risk and reward, extra money though. I mean, for the father and his kid who want to play, they don't need that. They just want to be in the world. They just want to fish. They just want to enjoy the pirate game without necessarily, being screamed at by kids, or bad adults about getting shat on and, blah, blah, blah. So if they would listen to that part of the audience a little bit more and open that up a little bit, you would lose some of the more loud, strident people who think that it's just a pirate skin shooting game. But I think the success of the really kind of wonderful Pirates of the Caribbean content they added really shows that there's a demand for that game without PvP. I think you could have a game and then incentivize playing in the what they call adventure server, where it's open world, open engagement, and further incentivize that. Like the people who only want a PvP, they're very against anybody not being locked into that situation, and they always want to punish. They're like, well, okay, you could have that, but only if you can't make any money, only if you can't make any kind of progress or unlock anything, because it wouldn't be fair to me.
Right.
Okay. Why not? Smarter people, smarter players would say, yeah, let them have their kind of base game. Let them have their open world pirate thing that's not full of assholes, and then incentivize coming and playing with me, where I'm gonna shit all over them. Like make it worth their while to come do that.
I mean, I think it would grow another set of streamers out there who want to just have a game where they're just playing with friends, exploration. It would probably create another set of streamers, but it would bring up a lot of us back who want to just play with friends and be in the same world as together and explore together.
They got the streamer angle covered, because they're going to make private servers just for the streamers. They're going to make so they can do their team deathmatch tournaments, whatever other nonsense. But yeah, it's kind of a shame. But even with that being the case, with stuff that is coming, that is out that I can't speak about, and the current change to captaincy, and everybody's kind of focused on that, there's really not a better time if it's something where you wanted to get into it than to go in and do the Sea of Thieves thing, because it is about as passive as I've seen it for a while, because everyone is trying to do everyone's trying to do the stuff, and it's not necessarily about the kill.
And I think
it's turn off crossplay, because each time I play, we always encounter like one cheater with a PC play on board.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's disheartening when you run into, and this is Xbox in general. Xbox really needs to take in my opinion, really, and I do not understand why gaming media hasn't kind of latched onto this, but Xbox has been in the habit in the last few years of doing a major disservice to all of its console buyers with forced crossplay. In my opinion, it's taking Xbox Live, which was the place to play online on console, and it's just ruining it. It's just selling it out for what? For growth on PC, because they've allowed PC now to become part of Live. It doesn't cost anything. They can cheat their balls off. And I know cheating happens without PC. I know cheating happens on console, but it's nowhere near as much. Yeah. It's just not, And so, it's about a broken promise. Phil promised. He said that people on Xbox, when they were going to introduce mouse and keyboard support, were never going to be forced into cross input. They acknowledged that that's a disadvantage in most games for controller, and that just kind of went by the wayside. Almost every first-party game, short of Sea of Thieves, forces it somewhere. I think it's killing Halo. I think that that forced crossplay is just murderous to Halo. It's antithetical to what Halo 3 at its height was, with kind of the casual. And the casual doesn't mean not intense. Casual doesn't mean for kids or anything like, you know. It was intense, but it wasn't like what Halo is now. It wasn't dominated by people trying to copy the strategies of the PC players, the exploiting of terrain to move through the maps. Halo needs to come back to being a console first game, and Xbox needs to come back to having Xbox Live be console online service.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I was gonna say I would agree with pieces of.
Happy to pay for Xbox Live if I can at least have the choice. If crossplay were opt-in on a system level, I'd be happy.
And I don't understand. See, that's what I don't understand is Microsoft. I mean, Phil and company have always talked about choice of where you play, and how you play.
Who you play with.
This is the one area that, you know, they need to address, and they need to address it in a way that, I mean, it's so simple. I don't want to play with PC people. Okay. All right. It should be an easy on-off switch, because I do know there's plenty of people out there who have Xboxes who do want to play with PC gamers because that's their friends and stuff. And there would be times, most certainly, where, you know, if I was gonna fire up, I don't know, Shredder's Revenge, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and I wanted Nick to play because Nick's on PC. He has PC Game Pass, you know, so he might have the game or whatnot, and you know, or he might want to play Fall Guys with us or something like that, and he's on PC. I could go in and just turn it on, play my game for the night, turn it back off for when I want to go and play Halo Infinite or Sea of Thieves or something like that. There's no Boogie said every choice except the Connect 3 version 3.
Yeah, I guess
Need to connect.
Bring
it
Well,
back.
that's it.
I
Microsoft
know.
talks a really good game about choice, unless you want to play on console and you don't want to play on PC, and then you just have to pound sand and pay for it.
Yeah.
Does Call of Duty has crossplay, right?
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
it depends on your version. Like in Warzone, you could turn it off if you're playing on PlayStation, but you couldn't if you're playing on Xbox, which is another thing that really, you know, grinds my gears.
That's because well, then does the PlayStation require you to pay
That could be.
The studios to pay for crossplay?
You know what's going to happen, right? Once the BK is going through it, there will be forced crossplay on every platform.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Then you get people complaining because Call of Duty is big enough for that.
All this stuff about the Call of Duty purchase, and I'm like, but I won't play it. Even when it comes to Game Pass, you know, if Xbox is still going to be borked on forcing me to play with PC cheats, you know, I just won't touch it. I was like, no.
I'll play the campaign.
I haven't played a Call of Duty since Blobs, since the first one.
You know what? Same here. The first Blobs. And the only reason I really played through all of that, believe it or not, that game on the Xbox had 3D support for my. I had a Mitsubishi 3D 3D television with the 3D, and I had the 3D glasses, and it actually worked with that game, and that was really cool. That's the last one I played too. I
enjoyed the hell out of that multiplayer. I was a executive camper.
I liked
Inferno.
I liked World at War.
And he said that people are complaining in the new beta that camping is a thing. He's like, well, camping's always been a problem in Call of Duty. I'm like, I was the camping problem in Call of Duty. Yeah. That was me. Nothing I love better than a good executive camp. And the difference between a camper and an executive camper is an executive camper knows to move just enough. You got to move, not a lot, but just enough to not be where they think you're going to be. And I mean, it could be as simple as the other corner of the same room or just outside that room. Because after they clear, they come out the next door and you grease them. It's just fantastic. They go on the hunt. They get mad. They're like, I'm going to get that camper, and they just keep walking into it. It's fantastic. But that being said, I still won't go back to Call of Duty because I did play. Nate got me into Warzone or one after that. Maybe we did brief. I think HGK was there. We did some multiplayer. Me, you, and Nate. Or me, I think, if I remember right. And even in that one game, it was just like ridiculous. It was just cheaters. I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I hear you.
It's the death of like. I remember. Don't you remember? I mean, you remember too, right? Like we're talking like, Halo 2, Crimson Skies multiplayer. Did you ever play Crimson Skies multiplayer?
I remember it.
It was fantastic. I'm talking about PGR2, like Xbox. The original Xbox was a freaking great online experience, but now it's trash. Overrun with PC cheats.
I don't know if
Like you can't look at any leaderboard in anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever game it is, if it has a leaderboard, it's got a cheater on top, and they have like 5 gamer score every time.
That's it. That's why I always prefer to play co-op games.
Well, I mean, and that's cool. Like, I
it
like
is.
crossplay. Yeah, I mean, crossplay is great for things like that. And I'm thinking also of in some games it matters less about the control method. Like, you remember I loved Laser League. I know you did.
Oh yes, I had a great time with that.
Lack of crossplay killed that game. So I want there to be the option. I want people to be able to do that. I want games to be able to expand their player base in that way, but it needs to be optional for console players, particularly if we're being charged a premium to use those consoles online.
Right. I think that is a legitimate ask.
Yeah. Yep, and it's like it is the mark of death. If you ever want to just be a black sheep, if you want to just be not heard by anybody at Xbox, bring up crossplay to any of them, and you are blacklisted. That's it. It's done. It's actually it was funny because there was a run on Xbox ambassadors. It was a big thing about some goofy person getting like a streamer who was an ambassador, didn't much play games, and all the fanboys had to dig into it. And a bunch of Sony guys realized, well, that's just a marketing thing. They're letting anybody sign up. So they all signed up and became like the worst Sony trolls on Twitter. All became ambassadors, and we're talking about it. I looked too, and actually, as part of the ambassador program, you're not allowed to talk bad about crossplay.
But you're not supposed to talk bad about the platform.
I mean, yeah, but I think that's. I mean, honestly, there really was a requirement to have a positive take on crossplay. And I get it. I mean, you can't really be against crossplay without being somewhat negative about the platform. Well, why? You can't mention it on Twitter without PC gamers all demanding to know why you don't want to play with them, and then getting insulting and nasty, and exemplifying why nobody wants to play with them. But yeah, it's literally part of the Xbox, and I know what it is. It's a marketing thing, the ambassador program, but it is a tenet of the ambassador program to be positive about crossplay, which is why I'm still kind of surprised that I'm an ambassador at this point. But then again, I don't think anyone in power can hear me, because if you talk about crossplay, yeah.
Well, it's why it's why Microsoft doesn't watch our show.
Yeah.
Well, there
Even
has to
like
be
if they want to
some.
grow their xCloud, I mean, there's people that want to play against PC cheats, even are worse off.
But
They'll
doesn't
have some kind of lag versus like dedicated hardware, like a console or PCs or PCs, and if PCs are cheating, then the whole xCloud won't.
doesn't Fortnite crossplay? Mobile,
Yes,
console,
across
PC?
everything.
Yeah, what was it that it was a Game Pass and it launched with touch on the phones and you didn't have to even have a. Was it? I tried it. I played one or two rounds of Fortnite on my phone when it was no build using Game Pass login without necessarily having to use the Game Pass app. I think it was whatever it was. It was crazy, but it wasn't for me. But I could see that some people do that.
Again, as long as it's a choice. And I think that's the biggest thing that gets lost in all this is just simply give people the choice.
Exactly.
That's all.
I'm not saying I don't want crossplay. Period.
Right.
I don't want forced crossplay.
I think if they're afraid to do it
should be my choice.
If they do that, then you won't have enough there to play together. Separating the players like that. Then it's
you're saying that they don't have enough PC players?
It could be one way or the other. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the game, but
I mean, they're so loud. There must be a ton of them.
Well, it's like I was talking about crossplay with Halo, and I really think that if they someone asked, okay, so now we got shakeups going at Halo. If you're the new guy in charge over Infinite, what's the first thing you do? And I said, first thing I do is I put make crossplay optional for console players, and I announce it loudly. Come on back, it's Halo again. And the I would make a huge announcement out of it. It'd be amazing. Someone who doesn't have an Xbox, isn't paying for Live, was like, blah blah blah. There won't be enough players. I do believe that there would be plenty. They're just looking at Steam counts because they love to look at Steam counts. Like that's where, there's the number. I know Microsoft doesn't put out other numbers, but Steam's never been, a large percentage of Halo. So,
well, they want it to be.
Well, right. I mean, that's what this whole failed experiment with Infinite is trying to pump that up, but they messed it up. But what I'm driving at is I think console players would be fine. I think there's plenty of Halo console players that they would be fine, and it might be tough matchmaking for the PC players, but I don't care. I pay for Live so that I can play on my console with console people, and not.
I agree with you on that as far as console players play for Live, but PC doesn't, and they have to address that.
Yep. And I don't expect them ever to make PC play. They'll never make PC play for online. No. That'll never be a thing.
But then they need to just make it not.
It's not forced. All I want is not to be forced into it.
Yeah, I know it's all about Game Pass now. So on PC, you do pay for Game Pass. If they go to that, to where they have the one tier, 2 tiers, whatever. But then again, you have people that play on Steam, and they're not paying.
Right.
So no matter what, so I think at some point they got to do away with the you got to pay Xbox Live on console, and just make it the same across the board.
You mean on PC?
Well, they won't make PC pay. Eventually,
they're not going to make PC pay.
If Game Pass gets big enough, if Game Pass has enough subscribers, they might might drop Live from that. But that would just remove any argument we have. Then we're totally at the mercy because now we're not even paying a premium to pay online. So now we're just second class. But is that worse or better than paying and still being second class? As far as the rest are concerned, I don't know. But I certainly would rather have the choice if I'm paying. But the person I was arguing with they were saying, well, the game wouldn't survive if it couldn't have crossplay. I'm like, well, here's the thing. Phil promised we wouldn't have mixed inputs, and if it can't survive withstanding Phil's promise, maybe it doesn't deserve to.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have been not a PC first service game, free to play, aimed at all the kids who just want to play battle royales anyway. So yeah, I would rather, if it fails and they redo it and it keeps Phil's promise, then that's better in my opinion.
Now, Nick, we're not talking about you because you're not one of those PC players, but I mean but there are the few that do, they ruin it for a lot of people. But I'm all for crossplay, but the Xbox just got to do a better job and find ways to make it a little bit more fair across the border options and
Should be my choice. Who I want to
know.
crossplay with. They want to crossplay against xCloud. They want to play against PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever, or PC. Should be my choice. It should be my choice to check off which ones I want to play against.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't.
No,
they're just gonna leave it open. That's what it's all about. It's open across the board.
Yeah.
And they'll find a way to tweak it here and there or make it fair, this and that. But they're not gonna do that because it's just not. I mean, Call of Duty, all of them are doing it now. So
if you're gonna do that, then at least, and I get the lag and all that stuff, but at least turn off the ability to go, or give you the ability to go controller to controller.
Yeah, that
if you're gonna keep it forced, then at least, because Sea of Thieves does that, and I think, to me, I find a better experience than what we were having when we were getting griefed. Because at least you're up against controller people. So that would be the only way that I could see keeping crossplay where it is. But they're not even doing that.
Fortnite earlier are the same complaints on Fortnite.
I don't know. But if you look at the amount of people,
Fortnite have lock-on shooting.
I don't know, but honestly, let's be honest. What is the percentage of people right now playing Fortnite on PC versus console? I mean, is it what's the split? Almost every streamer, almost every huge streamer that you see is playing it on PC.
Yeah, but you do have a lot of young people that play on mobile too. But I mean, if you play on mobile, I guess you shouldn't expect to, win out against people on PC all the time.
Right.
I mean, Sea of Thieves is like, when they stream, it's mostly all PC. So
almost
the
all
play base cannot be that small.
But I think you also have to turn crossplay on in the game.
What, in Sea of Thieves?
No, in Fortnite.
Oh, Fortnite, yeah. It's an option, I think.
So it is an option. Like Fall Guys, it was an option. I think it was an option.
In a lot of games, it doesn't matter a lot. Like Street Fighter is coming to Xbox, and thank Christ for that. But that's going to have crossplay. I don't know yet whether it's forced or not. But in that, I don't care as much. I mean, still you're going to have more cheaters because of that. But whatever. It's going to be less impacted than something that's like a first-person type game, because nobody's rocking anybody's world with a mouse and keyboard in Street Fighter. Maybe some some outlier, like the person who plays Elden Ring with a Dance bat. You know what I'm saying? Some outlier like that would, but generally speaking, keyboard and mouse are terrible for fighting games. So that's the kind of thing where it matters less. It does matter some per game, but I still come back on just the fact that what Xbox buyers were sold was not what we got. We were sold on buying a console and having no forced mixed input, and that's not what we're getting.
I think that maybe that was their intention, like to look into that and make that capable. But then once they started getting all the numbers and metrics, looking at this and that from between crossplay, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to do that on this game.
It's their
for whatever reason.
Growth on PC is what it is.
Oh, well, of course, yeah. They want to support it. You know, they want to sell Game Pass.
Got to
on
get those
PC.
subscriber numbers up.
Yeah, I mean that's number one thing.
Yep.
I mean, bottom line, it's business, and they probably have it there on feedback. But is there enough demand for it to be, to do that? I don't know. We don't know that. We'll never know that.
So I'm kind of doom and gloom on the crossplay thing, just because I've been fighting it for a while.
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah,
and it's been just a long road. Maybe Infinite will kind of wake them up a bit. Here's some hope, but I'm not down really on Xbox as a whole. I'm looking at like the Tokyo Game Show was a pretty good show for me as a Game Pass sub, and I got Ni no Kuni downloaded so that once I get done with the other Japanese stuff I'm playing right now, and I'm pretty excited to be doing that because I want to see more Japanese support on Xbox. Like I love Final Fantasy 13. So I think there's a lot of progress being made there. We're seeing more things there. I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah. So there's a lot to be up about, and when the Activision thing goes through, we're gonna, in addition to what we've already got, we're gonna have such a pipeline for stuff coming to Game Pass. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah. But I am curious how Call of Duty will change a lot of the stuff the way Xbox does with Halo, some of the other multiplayer games. Like what is it that Call of Duty does? They might adopt and into their other FPS games. And this whole deal with the crossplay options and so on. If maybe it'd be a bigger deal for the media once Activision is acquired. Then they'll start bitching about, oh, well, you need to do this for Call of Duty and blah, blah, because it's not as big of a deal when it comes to Halo, which you think it would be, right? But or Sea of Thieves and so on. So we'll see.
It'll be interesting. But yeah, I do have good feelings about I do have good feelings about the direction in general of Xbox. I just wish they'd clean up Live, but that's my only down. That's really my only complaint right now.
Yeah. No,
Mav,
that's legitimate.
Hold it. Mav, I've seen it. Trust me, I've seen it. I'm not a bad first-person shooter gamer, and I've gotten beaten by freaking 12-year-olds with mouse and keyboards on some. That's why I don't play a lot of first-person shooters that are fully cross-play. They can. You have a level of precision that a controller just does not have. It just doesn't have.
It's a physiological thing.
But I thought there was some complaints the other way that there's some aim assist with the controller.
Well, you'll see that. And without aim assist, it'd be worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always a toss up. I've played Halo both on PC and on Xbox, and yes, the aim assist is there. No, it's not weak, but it's not auto aim. Everyone wants to argue that it's auto aim and it'd be useless without it. Blah blah blah. Blah. No, it's not. The mouse and keyboard will always be advantageous in first person shooting because you're talking about the two muscles of my thumb versus the muscles all around my hand, wrist, fingers, and everything that's controlling the mouse for precision and accuracy. It's just not even close.
Yeah.
Physiological. It's just not.
Uh,
I mean, it's why they exist. It's why the input method exists.
And Nick in
Yeah.
chat, if you're still there, does Nick play on mouse and keyboard? Because I know he played with us.
No,
on,
I know he
Halo
played.
Infinite.
I think
He was on PC.
Yeah. No. And again, Mavin, I don't know if you were in earlier when we were talking about it. Controller. I mean, PC gamers that play on controller, that's a level playing field. So we're not necessarily talking
leveler
about
playing field.
leveler.
I wouldn't say it's still it's the same because
see, I
you
think,
still have
go ahead.
you still have faster the input frequency
lag,
is
right?
much higher on PC than on a console.
See, I think that Microsoft has spent a lot of time on the Series X trying to battle that, though. I mean, they talk about they talk about the
There's
lag.
still some. It's getting better, but it is there. I mean, it's
Yeah, but I don't know that it's like if I'm controller versus controller, and it's like Halo, right? I don't have a problem matching up against those people. I have a problem when I have to match up against
you would
mouse
play
and
with a controller
keyboard.
like the same game on both PC and console. You
Yeah.
notice a difference.
I tend to be okay.
Even when you use the same controller.
Remember when we were playing Sea of Thieves, and Sea of Thieves has a fair number of things that are held button mechanics. So if you want to drop an anchor or something, you're holding down a button or pick up something. I remember we were doing one of the early Tall Tales, and they had put just goofing off. He had taken this key that we needed and put it on top of a nearby statue, jumped up and dropped it on the statue to see if he could put it on top of it. Now none of us can get it down because you can't be elevated long enough for the pickup mechanic to work. We're holding the button and it shows a little line going around, but as you fall back down from your jump, it's no matter how you time it, it's not long enough, right? So we have HGK switch to PC, do the exact same thing with mouse and keyboard, but the timer's faster for PC, and he can do it. And it's like that way all across the board. You'll find little things like that in every game. This is why I'm opposed to forced crossplay. You just can't. It just can't really be right. So, but that's the perfect example of how, it's tactically, if you were playing Sea of Thieves and a PC player gets on your ship, he does not have to stop as long at the anchor to drop your anchor as you do on his boat to do the same thing. I have to be still at the anchor longer for that to happen, or to do anything, to load a cannon, to whatever it is.
And if you've got one of those nice keyboards, you can macro that.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Even when you get beyond the differences in the inputs and such, just the way that PC players sometimes are, not all of them, but some of them can't play a game and just play within the game. They always have to try to break it. They always have to find the exploit. They always have to find the animation cancel or the, for example, in Sea of Thieves, you're swimming, you drop a chest, you pick it up, you drop it, you pick it up, you do a macro to do that as fast as possible. And you can swim at sprint speed while you're carrying something, which you can't do. I mean, you can, but it's super pain in the balls if you want to try to juggle a controller and do that. And it's just, it's a PEBKEC situation. It's not an input or a hardware thing. The problem exists between the keyboard and the chair.
Yep. I don't know. I would be. I will bet, especially in big competitions. Sorry, if there's 10 people left in a Fortnite competition, and 8 of them have 8 of them have controllers, and 2 of them have mouse and keyboard. I'm betting on the mouse and keyboard guys every time.
Yep.
I'm betting on one of
every
those
time.
anyways, because one of them cheats the balls off.
Oh, sure.
Ooh, that's why Nick left.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, it's whether people take that personally. I know there are lots of people who play on PC. Hell, I did for years, and I didn't particularly cheat. I mean, single player is a whole different ball of wax, but we're talking about multiplayer in the modern gaming era, where, in my opinion, like starting with the NLG, going way back, esports has just completely ruined multiplayer. The idea that everything has to be like that level of competitiveness is it's just like nobody's playing for fun anymore.
Well, and I remember I always bring this up, but a while back when it was like, Microsoft was investing in true skill and stuff, so you would match up against people at your skill. People start complaining about like, oh, but then every match will be so sweaty. No, you finally play against,
Right. I
Some
remember
people
True
like
Skill.
to shoot fish in a barrel all the time.
Well, the streamers hate skill-based matchmaking. They hate it. They want to make content. They don't want to, have close matches with other people and fun matches that we win or lose or get excited about. They want to, be able to breeze through and mop people up so that they can at the same time, thank for their, the people for their donos or whatever. Keep track of the chat and all that. Whereas, you can't do that if you're having to actually play, right? Yeah. So it's call me old. This is where I'm the old-fashioned guy. This is where I'm the one with the years of gaming experience. The direction of multiplayer gaming hasn't been great in a long time, in my opinion. I mean, when we're talking about competitive gaming, obviously something like Fall Guys, that kind of stuff, and co-op, all that is great. I want all the crossplay for that. I always want to be able to play any of my. I always want to play any of my games that I'm doing co-op with any of my friends on other platforms. I just don't want to be forced into competitive crossplay. But I've monopolized the conversation with that, so I apologize. That's
no, it's okay. You're not on that often anymore, Juan. You get the floor when you're here on purpose, because I know that this is. We've talked about this before. I know this is a passionate subject for you, and it's doubly kind of potent based on the fact that you are and have, as long as I have known you, been a very passionate Xbox gamer. So for you to have this level of
criticism,
passion about this, and you do. This is a passionate subject for you. It always has been. That's it. You take it seriously because you've taken. Let me tell you, you've taken a beating online for being an Xbox fan, and I know that as well as anybody.
I mean that comes with that comes with it and whatever.
I know, but what I mean is that you've flown the green flag for a very long time. So for you to this is not the same as, and I'm not talking to anybody in the chat. Everybody's in the chat is awesome, but we have the fanboys on Twitter that use this as, console war bait. You don't do that. You don't do that. You're
talks about it.
Right.
Like, in my opinion, this is the biggest place where Xbox is letting down its console buyers. I mean, everyone focuses on first-party output or whatever. I don't care. Those games are coming. It might take the rest of my life. I don't care. they're coming. There's going to be a lot of games. There's always this, it's going to be a thing. Whatever. It's going to take as long as it does. I'm not short of things to play. I have Elden Ring this year, for fuck's sake. So, just the whole first party output, that's all the focus. But really the place they're doing the disservice to their console buyers is with forced crossplay, and nobody's talking about it. And I don't know if it's something where anybody in the media has even tried. Like, you would think someone like a Jason Schreier. I mean, Jason Schreier, with wherever he is now, Forbes, Bloomberg, wherever he is now, he has never in his life missed an opportunity to say something negative about Xbox. He has never once in his life had a chance to dog on Xbox and not taking it. And he won't. He is mum on this. He won't. He's. I mean, there's no way he doesn't know. There's been other people who have written about it. We've seen Windows Central's done a thing on it for Halo. There's been a couple different smaller sites that did a a couple of thing on why is crossplay forced in Halo and it's not, and fans aren't digging it. But the big sites just aren't touching it, and I don't know if it's because there's some kind of, maybe they've talked to the brass and the brass. So we're not talking about that ever. Don't bring it up.
I think they don't care. It's not. They don't care because it doesn't affect. It doesn't affect our coverage.
It's just crazy though, because like I said, we're talking about Jason Schreier. You tell me Jason Schreier wouldn't take literally any opportunity to dog Xbox, and he's just ignoring the
only if employees at the studio come crying to him and saying they're making me crunch on crossplay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just weird to me that
The only way
nobody's
you'll take
picking
it
up on
seriously.
this. Like, this is an actual non-truth told to Xbox fans, a thing that we were sold on that we're not getting, and nobody's picking it up.
I think it'd come out during Call of Duty and Activision.
Well,
it's only getting it big enough to, I don't know.
They should sell crossplay as DLC, or charge them as a microtransaction each time you want to use it. Charge them by the minute.
Yeah, but it's never going to go away because crossplay is now all about engagement. The more engagement helps with subscription. It's not going away.
Well, I think the whole gaming industry just needs to get over its addiction to Twitch view counts and streamers and everything. I think it's terrible for.
That's just this young generation. This generation of gamers, that's what they're all about. We're out of that. We're not all about that. That's the problem.
I can't understand it. Like, I've tried tuning into streams. I don't know how many watches it.
But PlayStation, all them, they're not selling anything. They're marketing anything to us. Maybe the BC games were that, but everything else, streaming and all the new stuff, it's all geared to the younger gamers nowadays. And
must be, because like I said, if I don't know somebody, like if I know somebody, I'll go in and watch them play, and that'll be interesting to me. But if it's just like the idea that there's some guy who's big because of streaming, I don't get it. Like, and I don't think anybody does. I think it's all nonsense. I think it's all, there's no formula. There's no reason why one person succeeds at streaming, another person doesn't. Like, it was a Halo dev that was talking about. He was feeling disheartened because a streamer had said that one of the 1% on Twitch had said that he had an off month, and it was more in that month than that developer had earned in a year working on the game that he was playing. Like, there's no justice in any of that. There's an insane amount of money being thrown at these people for what?
Well, I think it's personality based. I mean, that's the start of it. So, I will readily admit that for the entertainment factor, right? I'll once in a while check out Dr. Disrespect, right? I'll like watch his video shorts, and he's goofy, and he's, you know, and all that, but that's what people like about him, is that he's entertaining. He may not I don't think he's really that great at the games he's playing. I think to to your point, Juan, he probably dials down the competition a bit. But people love to play with him too, and that is, I have absolutely dude. If you could, I respect the hustle, right? Because the dude also does it every day. Like, that's his full-time job, and you have to be good. You have to be good at your full-time job to make it your full-time job, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I will never. It is not employment. I won't call it employment. I won't call it a job, but it is definitely work.
Yeah, and I give guys like that a ton of credit. He's put that work in, and he's reaping the benefits of it, and people like him. Whether or not it's something I can't do, for sure. I can't go to my job and quit and say, I'm going to be a YouTube streamer. Guys like that also have a little bit of a natural online persona. So I don't think it's any secret, that hair that he wears is a wig, right? The glasses and all that. It's all get up. I certainly do not do that when I'm streaming. I don't think anybody would want me to. And it does take a lot of work. And Mav is absolutely right. It does take a ton of work. I respect that. And if he can make thousands and thousands of dollars a week doing that, dude, that's great. I can't do it. I don't have that charisma. And that's the other thing. It's like any movie star or TV star or somebody, you have to have a level of charisma to make it there too. And I think video gaming, look, streamers are to me, they're actors that also play a game, right? Nobody's paying attention, honestly, to everything that Dr. Disrespect is playing. They're paying attention to what he's going to say, who he's going to respond to with his super chats, and
it's the parasocial attachment.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Which is not unlike sports.
It's not.
Attachment to athletes. Like my Lions. You watch Hard Knocks?
Mm-hmm.
It's been great. Their new coach, I love that guy.
Yeah.
But I understand that, and it's not being monetized particularly. It's not being. It's not like herding up a bunch of people to make these kind of weird parasocial attachments to this guy, and then going to a company and saying, "Hey, look at all these people that I, will show you this, whatever you want me to show them." Or I don't care for what it's doing to the industry. I don't care for what it's doing to games. I don't care for what it's doing to the game's marketing, the interaction of the devs with. Like, here's an example, right? HGK and I, a couple games ago, I don't think either one of us did it for the most recent Forza. We bought the expensive Forza, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got our 4 days of early access, right? We're excited because with our unlimited version, our ultimate was what it's called. We have our ultimate edition, the ultimate pre-order. We have put down $90 before the game's out so that we can play it early, right? Before we can touch it, you got streamers a week ahead of what we paid for that are playing it. And I get it. I get it's marketing, blah, blah, blah. But there is no reason at all to not allow us who bought the game to also go live at that time. Maybe we don't have huge audiences, but we could still be influencers within our own circle, and we've already put the money in. We've already bought in and said, "Hey, we're in with your product. We want it as soon as possible, but we have to dodge spoilers and streamers and things online because for some reason they need to have it before we do, who paid for it, who paid for early quote access. So, this is the kind of shit that bothers me about the whole cult.
That's the world we live in, sir.
I just don't think it's really great for the consumers. I don't think it's really great for the games themselves. It's just marketing. Just marketing.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree that if people are going to pay extra money for games, especially for early access, it would be nice if they can be able to jump in on that around the same time. I don't know if some of these streamers, maybe they're getting an early copy like a week before. And I mean, unfortunately, the streamers are the ones who are advertisement for the publishers and the devs out there. And they're gonna, give them early access before anybody else, because they're looking at them to help spread the news. More so than you or I, because we don't have hundreds, thousands of, viewers.
Oh no, I mean, like I said, I get, that it's marketing. I just don't see why there's any reason to prevent us from having it at the same time.
No, you're right. I think if you pay, that option should be there.
I mean, if it's early access, it should be early access, not paying to be ultimate plebs.
Not early access.
I mean, what am I paying for? I'm paying to be second-class citizen to someone who's not buying the game. So, yeah, no, I'm not. It's like I said, I just don't believe it's really all that great for the industry, for the games themselves, that gamers are valued less than viewers.
All right. Okay.
But hey, now that I've totally destroyed the ambiance, I'm going to actually bow out because 4:30 is going to come real quick.
I know that.
Okay.
How that feels.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is almost 11:30.
I do appreciate you having me on.
Of course.
We'll be in touch.
You are always welcome here.
Thanks for being
Always.
on.
And whatever you do, please do not cook your chicken in NyQuil.
Oh no worries there.
I mean, I'm watching. This
But
is
remember,
a real
it's rinse
thing.
of it tide.
Oh my God, we need to ban TikTok. We need to ban people. Is what we need to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
But again, do appreciate you having me on.
Yeah,
and,
always.
Again.
Absolutely.
Sometime when I've taken my happy pills or something. But yeah.
It's okay. So, all right,
good,
brother
sir.
Juan. Good to talk to you again.
Yep. See you around.
All right, see ya.
You have a good night, man.
All right, let me do something real quick. Where's the preview mode? I'll just do it this way. Turn off that one and oops.
I already talked about delete.
Yeah, hold on.
Gotcha.
Hey, Spooky's joining us.
Yeah. So, you gotta give Juan this. He sticks completely
He makes a lot of good
to.
points, whether people agree with him or not.
Yep, not everybody agrees with him. I can't say I agreed with him, on some of that, but
Yeah.
that's Juan, and we love Juan for that. that's why I brought him on, because he gets to speak his mind, and he has been at the forefront of the crossplay thing, and I can't argue with it. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
So, but he's gone. So, Mav, you can come back. Let me turn on the rest of these topics here. That's what I don't know. I'll fix the text later on.
To the next topic.
Yes, we talked about the leak.
Talked about the leak.
We talked about the leak.
The rise of the Tencent empire.
I need to. Already got the map. Said he was triggering me like crazy. Yeah, honestly. So
that's why his name is Crazy Juan.
That's why his name is Crazy Juan. Man, seriously, he definitely has his opinions. He's definitely strong-willed in those opinions. But I promise you, he's a good dude. He's a gamer like the rest of us. A lot of the, I'll stick up for him on at least the crossplay thing. A lot of Sea of Thieves, a lot of the getting driven away from Sea of Thieves, a game that he really loved because he was going, and Peter, you could speak to it as much as anybody. The mouse and keyboard griefing was just destructive. And so, he comes from a good place, even if his opinions are a little farther than maybe some of ours. He comes from a good place. So, if you go back and you watch some of our older episodes where he was a co-host, he really does. He's very passionate, but he's a gamer. So anyway, yeah, and I like it in PvE games, right? I think that I would rather be able to turn it off in PvP. But if you give me the option for PvE, and maybe make it mandatory that developers put the option in the game to turn it on or off. Maybe that's another way to go about it.
I think the majority agrees that it shouldn't be forced.
Yes.
And I also agree with Mav that, every game should have it.
Yes, because
why not?
I like playing
with anyone wherever they may roam and on whatever device they play.
Well, Phil has said that he's not going to force developers to make it, mandatory or whatever. One way or the other, he's leaving it up to them.
Well, yeah.
Right.
He doesn't want to ruffle up too many feathers.
I'm not sure, because obviously I don't make games, but maybe it's easier for the devs to where they don't have to sit there and worry about console and PC. They make one big game that's cross-play, and there might be some tweaks here and there.
Any feature they add like that, because time and money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and it's like, if you want to have a lot of engagement, and might be worth it.
I know.
But higher on my list is like cheaters.
Yes.
It's you will always be behind, but that should be like, some solutions in place that, how can we bar those players, or how do we put those together,
But they still had that
Let
on,
them
even when
play
it's
in their
just
own,
console.
Say again?
Didn't they still have that even when it was just only console only, right? Because you have people out there who know how to mod, and you got modded consoles, and
Yeah,
but that was a bad thing
hardware
about
platforms are more hardened than they were in the past too. So
yeah, it's a very touchy but passionate subject for a lot of people. So yes, that's why we spent an hour and a half talking about it.
Maybe Math knows. There was a something on Twitter. I forgot what game it is, but that developer even added anti-cheat in there, so you could not use like a Chronos Max and any other device that would significantly aid you in your.
I do remember reading something on that.
Yeah, and I forgot what game it was. Maybe it's not out yet. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. There you go. He says Call of Duty is adding more. So.
Yeah.
So. All right. So. Dun dun dun.
Oh, who the heck is that?
So that, my friend, is Shawn Layden, former head of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios. And
He signed a contract with the devil.
he has signed a contract with the devil. I have been, since we found out about this last night, shout out to both you, Peter, and Brother Boogie, who very close to the same time, got to it at 11:30. Right, about the same time we talked about it last night on the Forza stream. Shawn Layden has joined Tencent as a strategic advisor. How about them apples? This is...
Hey, careful. We might get a copyright strike from the Apple.
So this kind of broke yesterday, right? We were streaming, right? We were playing Forza. We were having a good time, and all of a sudden, Peter, you said, Shawn Layden just joined Tencent? And then Boogeyman put it in the chat. Hey, did you guys see? So it started. It first showed up. Somebody first caught it. On his LinkedIn, that he had put, hang on, you know what? I can just, hold on. Let me just bring it up. So, let me see if I can, look at that face. I am delighted to share that I have recently joined Tencent Games as a strategic advisor. In this new role, I hope to advise, assist, and support the team at Tencent as they deepen their activities and commitments within the industry to which I've devoted the majority of my career. We are at an epic... I'm hoping that he just typed that wrong, or I'm reading it wrong and it's epoch. We're at an epoch-defining moment in gaming and interactive entertainment. There are many possible roads ahead, but only a few are profound, broadening, inclusive, edifying, inspiring, and or sustainable. I'm thrilled to continue this journey of discovery and thank Tencent for the opportunity.
I think that's sustainable, wasn't he? He was like Mr. Anti-Game Pass as well, right? It's not sustainable, so I thought that
right.
was funny.
Right. So, right off the bat, hold on. Map says advise Tencent to leave the gaming industry, but still release that Logitech handheld. So what does Tencent actually do? Are they just an investor, or they actually publish stuff? No, like like the locust alien race from Independence Day, they go from developer to developer, and they sink their claws into them, and they buy pieces or all of. So Tencent has stake in, I think, Epic, which is where they made a lot of their money. Let's take a look. Let me
I mean, it's all over the place. Whatever they do,
Yeah.
They have their
Any company
divisions
that
they have.
accepts or people who accept their employment can no longer be trusted from national security standpoint. So,
Well, they.
Yeah.
I mean, here,
been
like in
compromised.
07, Tencent invested over RMB 100 million in the establishment of Tencent Research Institute, which became China's first research center dedicated to core internet technologies.
Let's see.
I mean, they had their hand. I mean, here their divisions is Tencent Games, Tencent Music, and Pictures. They're in
Yeah.
everything.
Quantic Dream. They just
Is that who they? I'm trying to.
didn't they acquire them?
Yes, they acquired Quantic Dream outright. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Quantic Dream.
Hold on.
I see. Let's see. Fat Shark.
Yes. Well, by NetEase. So they got bought by NetEase.
Oh.
So no, Tencent did not buy them.
No. They have
okay, so
Turtle Rock
Tencent.
Studios.
Yeah. Oh, that's who they bought. Turtle Rock. They invested. Oh, remember they're the ones who joint invested in From Software.
Yeah.
With Sony.
Yeah.
Foreign investments. It's Discord.
They got Riot Games.
Platonic. Ubisoft. Already said Fat Shark.
Did you say Platonic?
From Software. Don't Not. Epic Games. Sumo Group. You already said Turtle Rock. A whole bunch of other stuff. Roblox. Platinum Games.
Yeah, they've got.
And it says here they're the world's largest video game vendor.
Yeah,
They're
I'm looking.
everywhere. TV,
They are
cinema,
everywhere.
comics, music, video streaming, e-commerce.
That's why I think it's funny how
Healthcare and
Microsoft
insurance.
acquiring
It's like fits right in. Sony fits right in their wheelhouse. That will be next.
I don't know. Japan would like them to.
No, not to be owned by
buy
a
out
Chinese
Sony,
company.
Nope.
No, what they do is they don't get them. They don't acquire them. They just have
It's-
such a huge
I think that
investment
allows
in them.
them to
It's
invest.
like
I-
they might as well.
I think that at some point, so Tencent owns. All right, so Tencent invested 300 million euros or $296 million in Guillemot Brothers Limited. So amounting to a 49.9% stake in Ubisoft. Tencent gets 5% voting rights in the company. I think that they are setting up for a future takeover of Ubisoft.
Maybe, but I mean, they definitely invest to where they can have a say-so in things. I mean, they had that in a lot of other things too.
Well, they do, but I think, and I also think that Tencent buys into these companies in order for them not to get snapped up by somebody else.
Well, at least they make a pretty penny.
Well, they do. They made it. They made
Because
so
to get
much money off
acquired,
of
they always pay
Epic.
premium, so whatever it is, it's easy
Yeah.
money.
They do. They make a ton of money on their investments. I'm looking to see, and this was. And it's funny because after Tencent upped their investment of Ubisoft, Ubisoft's stock went down 17%. So I don't think they're going to get bought out by Tencent. I think they get hostily taken over by Tencent. I think they don't have to sell. No, they don't. They only have a 5%. So here's how it breaks down, Mav. Guillemot Brothers Limited is controlled by the family and is the entity that controls the majority of the family's roughly 15% stake in Ubisoft. So as part of its deal, here we go. So as part of the deal, Tencent is able to increase its direct stake in Ubisoft from 4.5 to 9.99 of the capital or voting rights. But Tencent will not be able to sell its shares for 5 years and will not be able to increase its stake beyond 9.99 for a period of 8 years. And for the moment, that means that they can't buy out or take over Ubisoft. But I'm willing to bet that they are happy waiting this out. They'll make their money. They'll get their 10% voting right. And after you figure, Eves has always said that at some point they're going to get out. They did not want Vivendi buying them, so they fought the Vivendi takeover. And what happened was Tencent bought some of the shares of Vivendi when they unsuccessfully tried to take them over. And that's where they got their 4.5% from. I think this keeps their foot in the door, and when the Guillemot family is ready to retire and give up Ubisoft, I think Tencent's going to step in.
Maybe. They do more investments and really. They've acquired some studios, but I mean they also have investment in Epic, and then we just saw the deal with From Software, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if any big gaming company they do want to pick up, Ubisoft be one of the best ones. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. So that's how it's laying out. Yeah, I thanks, Mav. I got that. And what I was reading from, just so you guys all saw it, was here from CNBC, and this was from earlier this month. So that's where I was getting. So to what Mav sent me, so what he's talking about is this. Let me jack this up a little bit here. On Tuesday, Ubisoft and Tencent announced that Tencent invested $296 million in Guillemot Brothers Limited, amounting to a 49.9% stake in the company, but Tencent only gets 5% voting rights. And then down here a little bit farther is what I was reading from earlier. Tencent's able to increase its direct stake from 4.5 to 9.9 of the capital or voting rights, but they can't sell those shares for 5 years, and they can increase their stake in Ubisoft directly for a period of 8 years. So this is where I think in that 8-year period, after the family is ready to retire out and give up control, it's going to be this and this. So what they did was kind of, if I'm reading this right, they kind of end-arounded the 10% share they own directly and just invested in the company that owns the near majority. So this is kind of a interesting situation that I think when they're ready, bottom line, Tencent at some point is going to own Ubisoft.
Maybe, but I mean, I read there too, like they invest in a lot because to prevent takeovers, because they want to have an interest in so many different companies to where they're continuously making money. If someone else buys out Ubisoft, then well, they may buy out the majority shares, right? But Tencent will still have a share.
Well, the problem is that the only way that you can do that is if the Guillemot family sells the entire set of their shares to somebody.
Yeah.
So, and that's just it. That Mav's kind of reinforcing what I'm saying. They can't, like a Vivendi couldn't come back in and try to take over because they and Tencent together own 49 own the majority stock. Right. They own 49 point. Right. So they.
I don't.
But the one who can, when the time is right, will be Tencent. I'm telling you, it won't be a hostile takeover. They're just going to sell the remaining. They're just gonna what they'll do. Is
everybody in the family gonna die? Is there not anybody else in the family that will take over? I mean,
it's the brothers. It's the older brothers.
Well, I know, but they don't have family that might say we're going to continue controlling Ubisoft, or are they just going to say not sell it? I mean,
I think they would have to. I think they would have to buy out the brothers limited.
I don't know. I don't see that happening.
I do in 8 years.
I mean, if any company they were going to try to take over, I mean, they already had investment in Activision. Why did they try to get in on that?
Activision was still majority owned. They would have to have bought majority shares. Remember, Tencent, by doing what they did, didn't buy direct 49.9 majority share. They went in with the brothers.
Yeah.
To own, to help basically. Right. Pretty much the Guillemot brothers, as Mav said, just adopted a Chinese brother. They're just part of that they're part of that company. They're not part of Ubisoft. They only have a 10% stake in Ubisoft, but they have a 49.9% stake in the company, the brothers company that owns the near majority shares. So at the time, all the brothers have to do is just hand over the limited to Tencent. Tencent has that 50% or 49.9% plus the 10% they own directly. They own the company. I think that's what they're setting up for. Now,
maybe.
when it comes to Activision, I mean, Activision is owned by their shareholders. There isn't one entity necessarily that owns that. That's why Microsoft is buying the company outright for $70 billion. The shareholders are getting paid for that.
Well,
so
Tencent could do the same thing, couldn't they?
They could,
if they wanted
but
to.
I don't know that they want. I mean, other than, I don't know that they'd spend $70 billion on it, though. I mean, look at what they bought with. I mean, consider what they spent here, $296.9 million. I don't think they're spending $70 billion to buy it. I'm not sure they're as big as Microsoft in that sense to be able to spend that money.
Probably not. No.
So,
Can we go into the Animus and rectify the situation real quick?
Yeah.
yes. Hey, what's up, Rab? Rab's in the house.
Anonymous.
Right. I mean, look, this has sparked. This has sparked Microsoft's desire. You know, that once the Activision Blizzard acquisition is done, Microsoft's not done, right?
No.
This is such a competitive market. I don't think we get to press pause on anything. Tencent is the largest gaming company on the planet today, and they continue to heavily invest in gaming content and game creators. That is Phil Spencer talking. That is his words. Sony is a larger business than we are in gaming today, and they continue to invest. It's a highly, highly competitive market. We strive to be a major player. We want to deliver great content for our players, and we're going to remain active. So, you know, it's this round robin. I mean, Tencent, we still every once in a while have to talk about Embracer Group, right? Who owns 70 some odd development studios and I think 3 publishers, right? Koch Media, THQ Nordic, and whatever. I think there's a third one. So, Phil Spencer is quite aware of how potent Tencent is, and look, what if? And again, I know they're not buying these places outright now, but they keep adding to the investment, adding to the investment. What if 4 or 5 years down the road, they Thanos snap half these people up, right? And just take their investments. They make all this money from all the investments that they're making on the 5% here, the 20% here, the 49.9% here. They keep gathering those funds, and then you just turn right back around and start buying out these companies. And all of a sudden, Tencent
sell their
is
stake in Epic.
They could, and they could then, or they could turn around and buy Epic at that point, buy the rest of Epic out.
Well, but maybe they don't want to. But what if they want to buy out, other stuff?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying. Oh God, that would be crazy. And now you've got Sean. I mean, the whole point here is now you have Sean Layden, who is very adept at he did mean to say epoch defining. So, he's very adept at knowing how the game industry works, right? He's beloved. Everybody wants him. Everybody misses him, especially with Jim Ryan in the picture. So, he brings, let's be honest, he brings star power to Tencent as well.
Knowledge transfer to a rogue country, so.
I mean, he does have a lot of knowledge as far as running a game company, game division.
He does.
But it's interesting. So they do own some studios. So is he going to help them manage that, where they will show, as far as helping them understand how to invest in these game companies they have, and be successful with it, where they can make money out of it. Maybe they have them there to help with the Ubisoft, and maybe, like you said, maybe they will look into taking over, if they see that it would be profitable for them, because they were to take over Ubisoft. That's a big investment for them going forward, they would be having to fork over more money to help develop a lot of these games.
Well, and they do
and I guess
own
Sean Layden would be able to help with that.
Yep, and they do own a set of internal studios, so it is something he can turn his attention to for absolute sure.
I think I saw Matt too, or on Twitter talking about that Tencent is also like kind of partner up with Logitech. They're doing like a handheld.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Matt was saying. Was there's a let me look it up. He said he said that Logitech. Yeah. Let me see.
But would that mean
The
that some of these
Logitech
studios
G Gaming.
Would that mean that some of those games that they would be making games for that Logitech handheld device?
Yeah. And I don't, because I don't know what OS it runs. I don't know anything like that. So yeah, I mean, that gives them an outlet. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just looking at it on Engadget. Mav, it says they what they saw had icons for Xbox, GeForce Now, Steam, Chrome, YouTube. So it could be, it could be like an Android device. It kind of looks like an Android device that then has
cloud gaming console.
Yeah, that's basically what it's going to be.
And,
a cloud gaming handheld.
I mean, they make products for everything.
They're still making Harmony remotes.
Are they?
Yeah.
Love my Harmony remote.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting. It's gonna be interesting how much that's gonna cost too.
Yeah, no doubt.
It needs to be cheaper than the Steam Deck, though.
Probably is. If all it does is just streaming, then
yeah,
it's more a.
I loved my Harmony remote. I had I think it was like an 820. It was I had to plug it into my PC to program it. I loved it. I love that remote. So
I've had like 990s, I think, the one with the charging dock, lay flat in there.
Oh, I did not have that. I had
two of those. And
Oh.
now I have one that contains just regular batteries.
Yeah, mine always had regular batteries.
But I had to replace some of those contacts because it's certain buttons didn't work anymore.
I never had that issue.
I was able to fix it. Find like one of those contacts that you put underneath the buttons and they're working again.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what more we can say on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that epic, like, I know I've been waiting for you to let it out, Peter, because I know you, of anything who believes that this could destroy video gaming as we know it, Tencent is on your high list of
Well, what I said, I think it's a huge security risk, and
no, it is.
Yeah,
Because remember,
I would
Tencent back in the
sincerely advise anybody not to accept any of their monies.
Tencent got in trouble years ago, got sued for copying, right? That's what they were known for. They were copying people's, you know, their products, and so they had to change. So now they're investing, which still gives them a back door to a lot of property rights, and you know how this and that. And who does that benefit the most? The government of China. A lot of technology that
they copy everything.
Yeah. So now they won't get sued for copying because they have an investment in a lot of these companies. Yeah. So it's not so much about gaming; it's about the technology that's being used to, you know, make some of the engines and just software, you know, certain things that might benefit China themselves.
Right.
So it is, as the kids nowadays say, sus.
Yeah.
Axel says, all hail Tencent, our Chinese gaming overlords. And Boogie says, as I said, Tencent is the Borg of gaming, and now they found their Locutus. Yeah. We should put somebody needs to Photoshop some Borg equipment over Layden's face. Oh. All right. So we will keep an eye on this, and we'll
be back 8 years from now. Our predictions.
Right. 8 years from now, going, Tencent owns Ubisoft. Yeah. And Epic.
And we're like, we never saw that coming.
Yeah. And Sony.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh my goodness. So, all right. Couple other things to talk about real quick. I know we went long with Juan, but just a couple other things. Yes, the final. So PSVR2 and some other news. So there's a couple things that have kind of small things that came up, and I mean, okay, so let me start with PSVR2, right? I get it. Bigger, badder, better, right? All bigger stuff, better tech, all this stuff. But we found out in the official PlayStation podcast on the PlayStation blog, episode 439, that PSVR2 will not be compatible with PSVR 1 games. So, yeah. So, basically, in order to play your games, you're gonna have to keep your old, PSVR, and if you don't have the converter, little converter cable, then you need to keep your PS4. And if you only have the first edition PSVR helmet like I do, then you're going to have to plug it in and unplug it and plug it in as you're playing old games because you don't have HDR. Like this is one of the reasons that I held on to my PS4 so that I did not bring my PSVR into my PS5 because, the PS5 supports HDR, much like, the Series X, and I don't want to lose that. And once I have to buy a second generation PSVR helmet to get HDR. I don't want to do that. So no soup for you. No PSVR 1 games for you unless, and people who might have wanted to play the older games, even if they didn't have it, like if they didn't have a PSVR helmet in the first place, you're out of luck, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure they'll remaster those games for, $30 a piece. And you'll get to buy them all over again. What do you guys make of this? Peter, you're kind of more of the VR. You also own a PSVR. I think we're the two that own it.
That's very, very disappointing news.
Yeah.
I mean, if it would be out of the box, backwards compatible, without me spending any more money, except the PSVR2 device, then I might think about it. But now, if it's I have to buy all new games, so I have to invest more to play my old games, then I think it's going to be a pass.
Yeah.
If I have to spend money anyways, I might as well get, one of those meta devices or Quests.
Or a Quest. Isn't the Quest 2 backward compatible with the Quest 1? Like I know the Rift or not the Oculus I
think all those games you might have to plug it into a PC, but I think even the Rift games are compatible.
Yeah.
But then you would need a cable. Yeah, Mass said wait till they announce the price. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
That too. It's not going to be cheap.
$500 at least.
It's If it's the same price as the frickin' console,
probably.
I mean, I don't. They make it. They're making it harder and harder to want to invest.
I'm gonna say $5.99.
That's insane. No.
I see a deal here saying that the Eye Tracker 5 sells for like $230 alone.
Damn.
So maybe that's why they're like holding off on. It's cheaper for them to produce, and maybe they can bring the price down a little bit, but they do try to just sell it out to make back all their money because it's more expensive to produce. It's gonna.
Well, and let's not forget that we just talked about this a couple weeks ago. Meta is raising the price of all their stuff, so the Oculus is even their refurbished stuff is going to be more expensive. So the idea here that that this thing's going to be cheap or cheaper or on par with the original, that ain't happening. That is not happening.
What's so special about this where they can't port the PSVR1 games over to this? I mean, I
don't know. I honestly don't know.
You have to do some.
Is it because of the better sensor hardware, just whatever, the camera, something that maybe they have to adjust that in some of these games?
Well, remember
Maybe.
Who said that earlier? Like Sony's a hardware company and not a software company, so their APIs wouldn't be as smart.
People claim because of the light bar, but the light bar is. Yeah, but you could still track. You should still be able to track it with the camera. I mean, the whole point of the PSVR1 is the camera. If the camera is still hooked up, it should be able to see the points on the VR.
Yeah.
Or
even the dildos. The camera should pick those up.
It does.
The cameras are now in the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So they could do that. If that will be, the camera will be an issue with those move controllers. The rest, I mean, it should be, But isn't, Sony said, or Jim Ryan said, we believe in generations, and there you have it. I think if it wasn't for Microsoft, the PS5 would have been a hard generation. Same thing with the
Oh
PS4.
yeah, I mean, if it was just Nintendo and
Yeah.
Sony, yeah, it wouldn't matter. They'd want you to hurry up, buy the PS5. You know.
Yeah, I mean, very COVID.
Yeah, it did.
Dealt them a reprieve.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what that did is now they also have versions that also work on PS4.
Right.
But it's just another software title that's now on 2 platforms.
It's
not very, very integrated. It was not their long-term plan to make that.
exactly. If it was a priority, Mav said exactly what I had been saying. If it was a priority for them, they would have made it work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they have an opportunity here, I think, in that they could tell people, hey, look, if you own the PSVR1 game, we will upgrade you, little what's the term I'm looking for? What's the Xbox? No, what's the shit? Smart delivery. If they're smart, they would do a smart delivery kind of thing.
There's no smart delivery on the.
I had to charge you $10 for one.
Yeah. For those games.
Rab says, still not used to hearing Meta. I know it's Facebook. My brain says Meta World Peace bought a gaming company. My money was on Shaq. Yeah, these are the things that they should do. They won't. They're not gonna. But they should.
So, is there a game that you two would convince you to buy PSVR2? I mean, I see they're doing Horizon Call of Mountain, right? They're doing
Yep.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky would be a decent
4,
one.
Resident Evil Village.
I would take an update to. I'll tell you what. I would take an update to the Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Oh, Bridge Crew, yeah.
I would take a sequel to that. Star Wars, the Star Wars game did look good.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I would take a good. I'd take a good VR Gran Turismo. Ooh, Axel says, what's your favorite VR game?
I like that one. I forgot his name.
I liked Iron Man. I really liked Battlezone.
What's it called?
Trackmania was fantastic.
Blood and Truth.
That was a good one.
I enjoyed Valkyrie. And that was crossplay. That was cool too. Once again, that's
Yeah, I remember you talking about
crossplay was good. I played with Coop when he was on his
Oculus, right?
Rift, I think. Oculus,
the Rift, yeah.
Rift. That was cool. Or maybe maybe it was
All right, so we'll continue to see how this plays out. The next big thing is for them to announce price. So
yeah.
I have a feeling this is going to plunge even worse. Astrobot, that was pretty good.
Later, Josh.
No. Have a good night, Josh. Yeah. Have VR modes to the current slate of games, like Resident Evil did, right? Because I think Resident Evil had a VR mode.
Yeah.
Wipeout, like they did with Wipeout Omega Collection. Wipeout Omega Collection had a VR mode in it, and it was spectacular. I really liked that. No, so that's. So we'll keep an eye on this, and they keep shooting themselves in the foot, and I don't know why. So, all right. In other news, let's talk about something that's actually a positive.
What other news was there, Myke?
Have you seen the latest news? I believe it was talked about today is when I think I saw it. Microsoft updated their DRM so that you can now play disc games. If I read it correctly, let me make sure I've got it read correctly. I want to be, I have a penchant for being incorrect about things, which is why I'm such a great, show host.
We're here to correct you, sir.
That's what I love about you guys. Axel says he's loving the Climb 2, but his favorite game is Pistol Whip. So,
oh yeah, I've played that one too.
Okay, so
is that all you did was pistol whip people, or what? Just like.
All right, confirmed by engineering lead Eden Marie earlier today. Since Xbox Build 2208, Microsoft has reduced the amount of DRM check-ins for Xbox One discs. Although there may still be day one update requirements, particularly in scenarios where the full game isn't available on the disc itself. So, what that means is that you have a better chance of playing your disc games offline. So, that's pretty good. Games, so obviously, all the digital stuff will still require online access, but
I think digital, especially the older games, should have a far less frequent check-in. Like, say you have a digital game for 2 years, you had the license for 2 years. The chance that it has to be revoked, well, first of all, you can't return it money back guarantee for your 2 hours. So
right.
That's out of the window. There's a lot of stuff. It's like, should not be checked as frequently as game you just got.
That could be a way to do it. Or what this will do, something tells me that there has been probably some chatter between retail shops and Microsoft about physical games, right? Microsoft's made a big push towards Game Pass. They, GameStop, places like that do not want to lose their hold on the market with their physical games. What better way to get people enticed to get back to doing more physical game purchasing than loosening the DRM on it? Think?
Yeah. I can see that.
No.
Talking about physical media, the other PlayStation news is I want to go the route of having a separate Blu-ray drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
External disk drive.
Reportedly, there could be a brand new PlayStation 5 with a detachable disk drive.
Yeah.
Which will likely replace the all digital version. Which brings me, okay, so I'm reading this report on Insider Gaming, and Insider Gaming is where it first came in from. You will be able to plug that drive into USB-C port on the back of the console. Now, here's something nice though. You should be able to buy that drive separately. So for my PlayStation, which is the all digital, that would give me the ability to buy physical PS5 games.
So with
I
your
mean,
current all digital, you should be able to plug it in.
That's what it says. Yeah, be sold on its own. That's
What's
kinda
the price
nice.
difference between the two models? Is it $100?
It's
Yeah.
$100 now. So this
Let's
might
keep
be
it simple, $100. So I can see they sell that drive for $150. So they gain another $50 if you want to have the drive, because accessories are always more expensive when you buy them separately than when they're included in a box, right?
yeah. So
If you're gonna go with a cheaper model, I mean just a digital one, then you can buy external drive.
I don't know, $150. That'd be like, but I guess over time people go like, I'll just save up and buy it later on.
And this is just I think it's just an interim solution to, what you
Yeah.
said earlier about like keeping the GameStop and the physical media places a little happy.
Mhm.
But they really want to get rid of the physical because the digital media, they make so much more money.
Yeah.
Rarely discounted. They get the full, full 30% of $70 instead of who knows what, $5 a game. That up.
yeah. So I mean, if the drive comes out and it's portable, I'll definitely get one, because that'll just help me. Just because really, in essence, I give Sony this, the digital and the standard version of the PlayStation 5 are essentially the same. It's the same hardware, just doesn't have the drive. The S and the X
One of
are
them is
two
pregnant,
different.
the other one is not.
Right. The S and the X are two different consoles in principle. Same CPU, different GPU, different abilities, right? So I'd be interested in this. I would be interested in that. All right. Anything
I'll
else?
stick to the digital. But I
Yeah,
can
but-
see that being something that where if they sold just the digital, so it's $100 cheaper, that gives people the option to where they can get the $100 cheaper PS5, and then later on, if they want the physical external, they'll pick that up at some point.
Right.
And it just gives them one SKU. It's easy to manage, easy to,
All right. Are we missing any other news of the day?
Other news. Well, there's a new Iron Man game in the works.
There's a new Iron Man game in the works. You're right. I saw that
called
tweet.
Anthem 2.0. But
It's being made by Motive. Hold on,
Yeah.
let me Motive Studios. Can't find the motive. I can't find the actual tweet from Motive, but they are working on a. They're working on a single-player, third-person Iron Man game, and it's going to be done with.
It's in our Discord.
Oh,
Motor
Haha.
Studio. Yeah.
this is the point to which I'm winding down. Here it is. You're right. Thank you, sir. The news is out. We couldn't be more thrilled to collaborate with Marvel Games on an all-new single-player action-adventure Iron Man game. While we're still in early development, this is an exciting new adventure for our studio. So this is a single-player, third-person action-adventure Iron Man game. Team is being led by Oliver Prolu, who brings experience on working on past Marvel titles like Guardians of the Galaxy, and is joined by a dedicated team of passionate industry veterans, including Ian Fraser, Mylène Lemieux, and J.F. Poirier at the studio. Developed in collaboration. Sorry, you guys can't see that as well as me. Developed in collaboration with Marvel Games, the game will feature an original narrative that taps into the rich history of Iron Man, channeling the complexity, charisma, and creative genius of Tony Stark and enabling players to feel what it's like to truly play as Iron Man. So.
Well, hopefully it's good. Well, it's EA, so it should come to the vault eventually.
Yes.
You get to play 10 hours when it launches.
So they are, and they're hiring. So their new Iron Man game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Stark.
Okay.
It's since they did away with the anthem, that they're going to use some of the assets for that for the flying, because
Hopefully
you
that's
know how like
so
playing that
good.
game, you're like, man, this feels like this would be great for an Iron Man game.
Yeah. I hope they do. Hopefully they're not reinventing the wheel and make it suck worse than flying.
I liked the VR game. I really liked the VR game. So if they can capture some of that without the VR, at least in the flying scenes, I'll be happy with that. And then if they can, obviously the kind of walking around is going to be regular walking around, but I think this is I think this could be good. I think this could be good. So all right. I think we've covered everything. And it's 12:30. We have almost hit our 3-hour mark, and I'm not going to get us to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, going to get us out of here. Thank everybody for hanging out. Had a good crowd tonight. And we will be back next Tuesday night with our good friend Myke from Digital Eclipse. I'm looking forward to that. We are going to talk all things Digital Eclipse current. So he's got, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Cowabunga collection, which I have been enjoying.
You played it earlier this week.
I did, and I actually streamed. What did I stream? Saturday night. I did some turtles. And I'll probably be streaming it again. I am trying to find a couple people to do some online with, and
I need to jump back in that.
Yeah,
I may not stay the whole time with you, but
okay,
an hour or so. Depending on what time
awesome.
You start on.
It would be awesome. We'll figure it out. Because it's 4-player online for the arcade. the 2 arcade machines. It is 2-player online for Hyperstone Heist, and I think 2-player online for the SNES Turtles in Time. So, look, I definitely want to get some online going with that. So we'll get some more of that done, and then we'll talk to him next week about Turtles, and we'll talk to him about the Atari 50th collection, and we'll talk to him about hopefully some other stuff. We'll see. And in the meantime,
what's next?
Maybe. Maybe we'll get some. We'll get him all happy, and happy to see us again, and get like a little nugget of information out of him. So, all right, we're out of here. Everybody have a great rest of the week. Pick up a controller, get some gaming in. We'll see you later. Good night, everybody. Love you all. Play on, gamers.
Game on.
Adios, gamers. Have a good rest of the week.